side is Radhe Verma, okay, and I have total experience of 15 years of industry, okay, and I am working in networking, security, FI, and multiple of the domains. And today I am telling you about the Cisco CCNP, that is 350-401 core examinations. So I hope you guys are aware about how the Cisco certification is or the Cisco career certification is about. If no, let us quickly go through it together. Okay. So when you talk about Cisco examination, Cisco will be starting from the entry part, and then from the entry part, you can go to the associate, followed by the professional, and then the expert. Specialist is something that if you wanted to do some specialization in maybe collaboration, data center, maybe Meraki solution, bit like that. So today we will be focusing on not on entry, not on associate, not on specialist, not on expert, but our focus would be on the professional examination. And when we are talking about the professional examination, it means about the CCNP enterprise. It can be many more like cyber ops professional, DevNet professional, CCNP collaboration, CCNP data center, CCNP different stuff. But currently, if you will see that all of the CCNP syllabus is now divided into two portions. Okay, and those two portions are, one is your core examination. Okay, and core examination means CCNP and core. Okay, so what I am saying is CCNP enterprise certification is now divided into two parts. One is your core and one is your concentration exam. So when we are talking about core code is 350401. That is about how to implement and operate your Cisco Enterprise Network core technologies. So when you see the NCore, it means Enterprise Network, okay, core technologies. What you can see about over here, that what we are meaning about the NCore. Then we are having the Cisco concentration exams. If you are focusing on maybe to earn the Cisco Enterprise certification, you need to pass two examinations for that. One is Cisco Core, that is must. Second is the optional. You can opt for any one of the exam, either it is 300, 4010, that is advanced routing and services. Okay, it can be Cisco SD-WAN solution, and then it can be followed by maybe your enterprise network designing. Then again, there is the designing of the wireless networks. Then you can say there are a couple of the implementation. If you want to go towards the demo, there is automation kind of stuff also there, okay, which you can proceed it up with, and you have the wireless implementation part also. So what I told is, you if you want to earn the Cisco CCNP Enterprise certification, you need to go either one of the concentration exam, but the core examination is must. Okay, so core examination, we are focusing for today's session over the core examination only. Okay, and we will see that how vast this core examination is there. Apart from it, one thing more I would like to tell you: if you are doing like CCI, if you are going for the CCI, then there is nothing like that. Like earlier version, you need to go for the CCI written. No, you can go with the core examination. If you have the core examination in your hand, you can easily go and work for your CCI also. It is equivalent to your CCI written also. Okay. So there are two things. If you are focusing on the enterprise infrastructure, you can go with the core examination and one of the concentration exam optionally. Okay, it depends upon you on which particular exam you wanted to go for. Maybe if you are going towards the SD-WAN, you can go to the SD-WAN solution and you can go for the 300-415 examination. But if you are focusing on the routing and switching, or maybe for the designing perspective, you can choose any one of them from the concentration exam in the examination list, which I am showing you over here. Again, second thing is, if you are planning for the CCI, you need not to go for the CCI written now, because 350401 and core is equivalent to your CCI written examination only. So in the pictorial form, if I will say, it would be bit like that you can choose one of your core examination, and second one of your examination from the certificate from the concentration exam to pass out or to clear the CCNP enterprise infrastructure kind of stuff. So even you are going for 350 and 401 in core examination, it will be you will be getting a certificate about that also. But for the complete CCNP, okay, you need to have or you need to opt for one of the concentration examination also. Okay, hope that matters. That makes sense. Now, let us talk about the CCNP 350 infrastructure. That is our plan, and here we will be checking about what is the course syllabus of this. If you're talking about the course syllabus, it would be starting from the architecture. Okay, the first part is the architecture part, which is having the weightage of 15%. And when we are talking about the architecture, here you will be learning about lot of the stuff, including your SD-WAN, including your wireless, including your different technologies like FHRP. You can see over here. If you talk about FHRP, what is FHRP? It is about your HSRP, about your VRRP, okay, and maybe the GLBP. So these are the technologies which you will be learning into your core examination, which is providing you that okay how your high availability can be maintained using your first-hand redundancy protocol. Okay, using that. Then you can see there are the WLAN deployment infrastructure. About that also we will be discussing about in this course, which is bit like are you using the centralized, okay, in like if you have the controller, or maybe you have the lightweight APs, or maybe these are the autonomous APs, okay, or maybe Flex Connect you are using. So what kind of WLAN architecture you are using in your scenario, you will be able to understand about that also in your architecture way. Then you guys are aware when we are talking about today's network, it is more focusing towards the cloud. We will be talking about what is the own prices, what is your COPEX, OPEX, and how does it matter. Like if you are using the cloud infrastructure or your own premises, your own data center. Okay, we will be talking about all of these things into your Cisco CCNP architecture. That is your first module, which which has the weightage of 15%, and it's also having SD-WAN solution information. So I hope you guys are aware about SD-WAN. SD-WAN is, you can say, when we are talking about SD-WAN, it is the part of SDN. Okay, so software defined network. Software defined network has multiple things. Now you can see if you are going towards maybe towards the Nexus, you are aware about the Cisco ACI. That is one form of your SDN. If you are going towards the WAN, you have SD-WAN. That is again software defined network. If you're going towards maybe towards the LAN infrastructure, you are aware that there is SDXS kind of stuff which we are using. So we will be focusing on SD-WAN in our CCNP core examination, okay, where we will be gonna see that traditionally if we are having couple of the routers, okay, these routers were having something known as data plane and the control plane inside inbuilt into them, okay. So control plane and data plane was inside into them. But now when we are applying SDN solution over there, it means we are fetching out the control plane of the devices, and all of these control planes are going over the controllers. So there is one more layer that is introduced. Those are known as controllers. So in SD-WAN, we will be talking about these controllers. Okay, what are these kind of controllers are? What are OMP? Okay, what about all of the stuff? How OMP PAs are recognized? What about the underlay? What about the overlay? So we will be gonna talk about each and every step in this Cisco CCNP enterprise core examination. Then we will be also talking about different functions of SD access solution. Okay, about the QoS. QoS, I hope you guys are aware about little bit knowledge you have about the QoS. If no, so QoS is something like from which you can classify couple of the network and you can put some kind of marking, and on the basis of that marking you can manipulate with the traffic. Either you want to higher prioritize one traffic over another, or how you want to make that traffic to be go into the LAN. So it can be bit like that if you are having a proper road. Okay, so let me show you. Let us say you are having a, a proper road, okay, and into this road you are just assigning one lane for a particular VIP portion. Okay, so bit like this, you can see there is some kind of network which is going on, which is running on in your network, in your production environment. And into this, one of the application traffic is highly critical for all of the clients. So in that case, you need to classify that first. First of all, first thing is the classify the traffic. You need to classify the traffic. After classify, you can mark that traffic. Post that, you can prioritize that traffic with the help of QoS. So we will be talking about all of the QoS component, about the QoS policy, all of the stuff into the Cisco CCNP 350401 examination, which is the architecture bit. Okay, it's not limited to this, but we will be talking about a lot of more stuff, which is like present in your Cisco CCNP. This is, by the way, all of the syllabus is taken from Cisco side. Okay, it is a Cisco public document. So from where we are picking up this syllabus, and we are covering this whole syllabus in our training. Okay. Then if we move towards the second module is coming to the virtualization. So virtualization is again one concept that all of the stuff or all of the production traffic is now moving towards. You have heard about the term ESXi servers, right? So by the way, ESXi is hyper version 1 server. So there are hyper version 1, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 means which requires some kind of bare metal to be installed with on it. Okay. Type 2 means that okay, you are running Windows OS, and on the top of Windows OS you are running one more virtual box, that is type 2, that does not require proper hardware to get installed with it. Okay, so we will be talking about this stuff. We will be talking about the VRF. So VRF, I hope you guys are aware about it. VRF is nothing but if you wanted to, maybe you wanted to divide your whole of the network, and bit like your VLAN, you can segregate the network traffic, or you wanted to assign maybe two IPs on one interface and another interface of the router, it will be get rejected. But if you are using VRF, okay, so let me tell you. Let us say this is your each 0 by 0. This is your each 0 by 1. So if over the each 0 by 0, I am just assigning like that IP address and maybe 1.1.1.1 and 255.255.255 and then 0. Then if I wanted to assign the same IP of each 0 by 1 on the same device, and I wanted to run this command, it will be giving me some kind of error like it is a duplicate IP and you cannot assign with it. Okay. So for that, what we are coming with, the concept of VRF. VRF is nothing. It is you guys are aware that IP address IPv4 is 32 bits. Okay, we will be implementing one tag over it, which is 64 bits, and totally it would be 96 bits. Okay, and this is something known as VPN v4. We will be talking about this in a great detail later on in our training. Okay, where we will be describing about all of this virtualization stuff. Then we will be talking about the GRE, what is the GRE tunnel is, what is the IP subtunneling. It is bit like that you are putting some traffic over the. Okay, let me give you some example. Maybe you can able to understand. Let us say there is two endpoints. Okay, this is your users area or users LAN. This is your server LAN, and in between there is some kind of cloud which is running on. You don't want to let your cloud or your service enterprise network to know about your traffic. What you can do is you can use this underlay traffic. Okay, this whatever traffic you have running with, maybe it is your internet or something like that. Okay, but obviously it cannot be MPLS because MPLS is again a private zone. So if it is an internet, you can make a tunnel over it. Okay, it can be GRE, but GRE is not secure. So we will be running IPsec over it so that the traffic can be interrupted by Why this means users can interact with your servers, and this time your traffic is using your internet signal only, but you are sending your traffic in an encrypted tunnel. So you are building some kind of tunnel. So that kind of virtualization we will be talking about in our step 2, okay, module 2, which again have the weightage of 10%. Then we will be talking about LEAP and VXVLAN of the concept of the virtualization. When we are moving towards the third module, it is the main module and it is having the weightage of 30% in your Cisco CCNP 350401 examination. It includes a lot of from your routing and switching part, like you can see if you recognize it post your this CCNP which lost in 24 Feb 2020. We are having the CCNP switching exam, we have the CCNP route exam, and we have the CCNP T-shoot exam. But all of the examinations, including with your SD-WAN, including with your automation, including with your virtualization, wireless, all of the stuff is now merged. And all of these examination have couple weightage, which is now put into your new Cisco CCNP and for examination. So if you see over the screen, we are having module 3, where we are talking about the layer 2. Into layer 2, we will be talking about what obvious when we are talking about layer 2, there is the STP. When we are talking about STP, there are different and different flavors of STP which we need to be talked about. Then there kind of some ether channels, what are your 802.1q trunking protocols. We will be talking about all of these stuff in a very great detail when we will be going through this training. Okay. When we are talking about layer 3, in layer 3, you will be having 3 protocols. One is OSPF, one is EIGRP, and then your BGP. Okay. BGP is Internet Protocol, all of you guys are aware about. When we are talking about OSPF and EIGRP, usually we set up these kind of protocols into our enterprise network. So you can say if we are having the campus LAN, we are using OSPF or either OSPF or EIGRP or maybe hybrid. If you want to build a hybrid kind of setup, you can use both of them also. But when you are interacting with your, when you wanted to send your traffic over the internet, okay, you will be gonna use BGP. Like so, we will be talking about BGP, OSPF, EIGRP when we'll be going into the classes. Okay, and then we will be talking about wireless. Again, as I told you earlier, that this particular module is having a lot from all of the basics which we are using into our production environment. Either it is wireless, either it is virtualization, either it is automation, whatever you say, we are able to see each and every technology in our new examination. Like in wireless, you can see here, we are not going through only the implementation, but we are going through the troubleshooting also. Okay, about the designing, about the implementation, about the troubleshooting, what kind of APs are, what kind of antennas are, what kind of interference can be, how interference can be ignored, what is RSSI value. So what kind of the roaming, when we are talking about the wireless, the roaming is the very main feature, right? So we will be talking about each and every stuff in detail when we will be using this kind of setup in our lab, okay? Then when we are going for the IP services, but obvious, we will be talking about NTP. NTP is a protocol which is used for maintaining the time zone for all of your devices. Okay. The NAT path you will be using whenever your traffic is going over the internet. Okay, it can be public, private to public, public to public, or private to private also. Okay, we will be gonna talk about all of the NAT and PAT kind of setup, that how it is working in your environment and how the Cisco is used for the CCN, for passing out the CCNP examination. So we will be talking about all of the setups in terms of how to pass out the Cisco CCNP examination, in terms of how you can utilize this particular knowledge in your environment, in terms of how you can crack the interviews, what kind of questions can be asked in your interview when you are learning about these technologies. Okay, so we will be talking about all of the setup when we will be going through our classes. So here the multicast protocol also come, okay, in the picture, and we will be talking about that as well. Then module 4 comes, where we are talking about network assurance, how we can assure our network kind of setup. Here the monitoring part come into the picture. Here, such kind of technologies part come into the picture, like how you are using your syslog, how you are using your SNMP servers, how you are monitoring your setup. Either you are using some kind of RSpan, SPAN, ERSPAN in your environment to troubleshoot your environment. Then, if there is some kind of DNS center, what kind of workflow you are using? What is the REST conf you are using? Okay, it is a part of, by the way, your automation. Okay, then IPSLA, like if one of the link is getting down from the ISP and you want to bring that default gateway towards another ISP, maybe I am just giving one use case of IPSLA. You can use IPSLA in that form also. So there are a lot of use case which we will be gonna cover in this class, okay, in the module 4. Then let us come to the module 5, which is describing about the security. And when we are covering about the security, security is the main feature, because if you are implementing some kind of network and you are not securing it, it is again useless, right? So we will be talking about ACLs. Okay, ACLs. If you see here, there is a term AAA. That what kind of authorization, what kind of accounting, what kind of authentication you are using in your environment. Either you are using Tatacs, either you are using Radius servers. What kind of setups you are using for your environment? Okay, you are using ACLs or COAP policies. Okay, and what about the REST API security? So REST API is again the term about the API. I hope you guys are aware about the term API. If not, let me give you a very quick overview about the APIs also. So when we talk about API, API is nothing but it is application programming interface. That means when one of your program, okay, let us say this is your program one, is interacting with your second program. Okay. Let me give you an layman example, like if you are using Alexa, okay, if you are using Alexa and you are controlling your maybe main bulb or whatever LED or maybe some kind of sound system, another sound system using Alexa. So it means one of your API is interacting with another program. So sorry, one of your program is interacting with another program through the API. Okay, so when one program interacting with another program through automatically, it means it is going through the API. And when we are talking about REST APIs, it means that when your API is going over the HTTP or HTTPS. So in Cisco, REST API is very much useful. I hope you have seen the videos which we have already posted on the group. Okay, REST API is will be useful for your Cisco DNS center. How we can interact with Cisco DNS center. So when we will be gonna cover this kind of lab, we will be using Cisco SD like SD access over DNS for logging into the DNS center, and for DevNet. For that DevNet lab, we can make our program into a Python scripts or maybe the direct scripts also. We will be showing you how you can use REST APIs over there. Maybe through the Postman or maybe through the Python. Both way is the feasible. Then we will cover about wireless security. We will be cover about the network security. So all of this security part will also get covered into your this syllabus 35401. And the last module is the automation module. Okay, in the automation, like if you can see here, we are talking about Python, we are talking about DNS Center APIs, we are talking about the REST APIs, EEM applet. So if you see the EEM applet, let me give you maybe one of the example of EEM applet or maybe one of the script. Okay, let me make my lab on. By the way, you all of you people will get such kind of lab in your environment. Just I am using the CCNA lab because it is not an example of related to the CCNP, but I'm just logging into one of the device. Okay. You guys also will get the lab access when you will be enrolled for your class. So it is started and I'm taking the terminal. It's starting in soon. Let us take it some time. And let me stop and restart it. Okay, here you go. So meanwhile, it is booting. Okay, let us continue with our further topics, and then I will be showing you about the EM script and maybe one of the TCL script example also, like how you can just see these things are already in use, but now Cisco explicitly wanted you to be used in your environment, because if you are a network administrator, it's not only that you need to have about the knowledge of EIGRP, OSPF, or BGP, or maybe wireless. But apart from that, you should be having the knowledge about the automation part. Okay. And when you are talking about automation, one thing which is in the hype is the Python. Then the hype is of the REST API. Then apart from it, Cisco is saying that you should be also aware about EAM kind of stuff. So what is EAM? EAM is nothing but you are using EAM applet in your Cisco iOS, traditional iOS. Okay, no special iOS is required by the traditional iOS. You can run the Cisco EAM and you can use that EAM script for your usage. Maybe you can use some kind of TCL scripting also. If you guys are aware about F5 rules, F5 rules you are writing into the TCL language only, right? So here also in your traditional iOS, you can use the TCL script by going to the Unix command line. How to go to the Unix command line? Again, it is very easy to, let me show you if my router is booted up. Okay, maybe better if we talk about over here, then merely showing into the words. Let me show you over here. I'm going into the enable mode. So let me show you maybe first let me configure a couple of the loopbacks. Okay, so that I can have a couple of the IPs over here. So IP address 1.1.1.0, 255.255.255.0. Then interface loopback 1, IP address 1.1.1.1, 255.255.255.255, etc. Then maybe let me just make the upper arrow, and here I am using 1, 2. Then let me use maybe one more with that. Okay. Just to show you guys how we can use this kind of scripting on our router. First, let me show you the show version. If you see the show version, we are having the plain iOS. We don't have, a very, we do not have the requirement of the special kind of iOS or maybe special kind of agent to be put over here over the router. No. Now, if I'm checking the show interface brief, I can see that I have okay. I don't have the loopback 0 IP. Let me put the loopback 0 IP also. IP address 1.1.0 and WR and show IP interface brief. Okay, here are a couple of the loopbacks which we have configured before some time. Now, I'm just giving an one of the very simple example of the TCL script, let us say, in which you need to go into the TCL mode by writing down the command TCLSH. And you can see now you are into the Linux mode of the router, that is the TCL mode of your router. Okay. Here, if you are routing down maybe any of the script that will run, I'm just showing you a very simple script by which we are trying to ping all of these loopbacks which we have configured before some time. So I am just writing down for each, and now I need to take a variable. Okay, someone has some question. Anurag, you have some question?
Yeah. I was wondering how come you gave 1.1.1.0 to a loopback interface?
Check out the subnet mask. That is /32. Yeah. So by that way, if it would be /24, it will not allow you to put in the IP address over here. Okay.
Okay.
Got this
Okay.
point?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am just writing down for each. This is like I am, running out a loop over here, and now I am putting some kind of variable, maybe IP address, and I am saying for each IP address, the IP address can be 1.1.1.0, the IP address can be 1.1.1.1, the IP address can be 1.1.1.2 or 1.1.1.3. Okay, what I need to do? I need to close this curly braces which I have opened before some time, and now I want to pin these. So I want to ping all of the IPs which are mentioned into IP address. So let me check out the spelling IP address and the spelling mistake. And then I need to close this curly braces and I'm putting enter. And you can see that by just running out this simple script, I can ping out all of the IP address. This is merely one, use case which I'm showing you. There can be a lot of the use case over here for the TCL scripting. Okay, let me go out from the TCL script now. Okay, and let me show you one of the use case of the EEM scripting. Okay, like what we were talking about the EEM. Okay, let me run one of the EEM applet. So for T, do show IP interface brief. And here we have nothing on the interface into 0 So IP address 11.1.1.1.1 maybe 255.255.255.0 and no show. Now let me check the IP schema. I can see that I have now the IP address on the Ethernet 0 and it is something 11.1.1.1 but barely matters. Okay, we need to learn about the EM scripting but not about this. So what I am doing is I am going into the config T, and before doing that, let me go and let me check interface Ethernet by 0. If I'm shutting down, what kind of syslog message appears in front of me? So you can see the syslog message is bit like that interface is 0 change state to the administratively down. I'm just copying out this message. Okay, and now I'm running my one of the I'm just creating my one of the EM applet. Okay, to make that applet, what I need to do, I need to write down the keyword event, then manager, then applet, and whatever applet name you want to give. Maybe I am just giving netminion EEM. Okay, so now you are under the applet kind of stuff. Here, there is something like you wanted to check something. It is bit like your if else kind of statements, or maybe if this kind of statement is true, what need to be done. So we are checking something, and what we are checking? We are checking if some event happened, and event should be having the syslog pattern, and the pattern is whatever we are copied down over here. That if something happen over like that, then what we need to do? We need to make some kind of actions. What kind of actions you need to do? You need to write down action. Maybe first action which I need to do is in the CLI command, I need to write down one thing that is the enable. You need to go over the enable mode explicitly when you are writing down your EEM applet. Then I'm just, making the upper arrow and I'm writing down configure T, and here I am using the action 2.0. So into 2.0, I am going into the config T. Then what I need to do? Maybe I need to go into interface it 0 and this should be the third action. So I'm just writing down third action. Then fourth action, I wanted to make it no. This is my fourth action. And in my fifth action, maybe I wanted to give out, or maybe I need to write down that EEM script makes it up again. Okay, and because it is not a command, it is something related to your syslo message. So in the action file, I need to write down that it is your syslo and syslo message. Okay, what we are doing over here now. This is my applet which I have write it down. If I'm going to my int it 0 and I'm making it no shut because it was shut down earlier, and let me check show IP interface brief. You can see, oh, let me run it again. Show IP interface brief. You can see the interface it 0 is up and all of the other interface are also up. Now let me go into the config T. Let me go into the interface it 0. Let me make it shut explicitly and quickly go like that. Can you see? It was down before some time, but after it, you can see the net meaning EEM applet is showing you that EEM script makes it up again. And if I will check the show IP interface brief status, you can see this is up again. So this is again a very simple use case of your EEM script, how you can create in your environment. Okay. there are lot of other stuff also, and not related to the TCL or the EEM, but there is like you can use the Cisco iOS shell also for making some kind of scripting. But that again, we will be using those all of the stuff when we will be going through the whole course classes. Okay. Now that was your last part. We will be talking about all of the stuff over here over the automation as well. Then if you talk about the Cisco CCNP exam core overview, code 350401, validity would be 3 years. Either you are going for the CCNP concentration exam or maybe for CCIE, doesn't matter. There is no prerequisite, by the way. Earlier for CCNP, you must require a CC, you should have a CC and a examinations pass out. Okay, but this time you don't require. You can go for the CCNP and for examination directly also. Duration would be 120 minutes. If you wanted to schedule it, you need to go for the through the Pearson view. You need to pass out maybe for 850 or maybe 800. It varies actually. Okay, so better if you can bring out from out of 1,000, you can have 850 or more than that. Okay, so that would be the stuff regarding the exam overview. If you talk about the trainings, so training will be delivered by a professional working trainer. In this case, it is me. Okay, and I have already shared my experience with you guys that I am having a 15 years plus of experience. Then you will be getting the lab guides, you will be getting each and every training will be recorded, you will be getting the recorded videos after the session, so that if you are not able to come in one of the class or maybe two of class, you can go through it again and again. It's not ended over here. If you have enrolled for one class, you are most welcome in another batches of CCM, means of the same class, same course, okay, in next batches also, free of cost. That we will not, or NetVision will not charge anything for you guys. Then training mode would be the weekend basis. It is Saturday and Sunday for the timing where we are hosted over here in India, basically. Okay, so if you are from Middle East or somewhere else, which has the weekends definition something different. So let me make it clear that it is Saturday and Sunday. Okay, weekends. When I'm saying weekends, it means Saturday and Sunday. 2 hours per day, 4 hours per weekend. Saturday 2 hours, Sunday 2 hours, so 4 hours. Total time would be 40 hours or so. Okay, it would be more than that. Then you will be getting the lab, as I show you one of the lab. Okay, you will be getting online lab. Couple of the free tools also where you need to use, maybe if you wanted to configure some of more kind of setup, you need to go through those tools. Like I was telling you, you need to use Postman for calling out your APIs. You need to have the Cisco DevNet. Okay, tools. I will let you know how you need to go through those stuff whenever we will be starting our classes. Okay. Then the syllabus, as I told you, it is all the syllabus taken from the Cisco CCNP examination. That is a public document from the Cisco, and we are covering all of that syllabus only. Okay, timings would be maybe 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. the same time on which we are doing this demo. Okay, so timings would be a bit like that, but it is like not freeze yet. Okay, so as per the students availability, timings can be changed. Then training fees, if I will talk about earlier, if you compare with another institutes, we are not taking 40,000, 30,000, neither the 25,000, but it's 21K INR, or maybe you can say 300, approx 300 USD dollars if you are talking about it. Okay, so that is what we have covered.